In 2015, I walked into an audition for an arts high school in Northern Virginia with my self-taught portfolio in hand. I laid my artwork out on the table, and among them was a picture of a comic book style, pop art inspired black girl that I had drawn in marker. The interviewer at the time, Mr. Roselle, soon to be my art teacher and mentor of 4 years, looked pleasantly surprised. He turned to me and said, "You are one of the very few students throughout today that has had a person of color in their artwork." If only I knew how impactful that statement would shape my art for the next 6 years, then I would have stopped and got it tattooed. My first class with Mr. Roselle that fall, I learned 2 things. 85% of artwork in major art museums were done by white artists, and 85 to 87% of artwork in major art museums were done by men. How could art museums ignore all the culture? How could they ignore the art of activists, abolitionists, African Americans, Asians, Latinxs? Well, it all goes back to exclusivity. Historically, if many systems, especially North American systems, were built on the difference in race, and especially the superiority of one race, then of course it will fall into all facets of society, including the art world. Making art an exclusive space for those who are predestined by society to become the judge of such cultural power will definitely result in shutting out the experience of those they deem to be the minority. I remember my second art class with Mr. Roselle. I learned about Frida Kahlo, a Mexican artist who had the same eyebrows I got bullied for in middle school. I saw my culture intertwined with her work, my experience as a Mexican woman and a Mexican artist carefully painted throughout the hardships, the joys, and the pain. I had never had representation before, and I was finally seen. Growing up, I always wanted blue eyes and blonde hair because that's what every princess and Barbie at the time represented. Representation matters because somewhere there is a child watching, and that child is looking up to see a place in the world paved for them. Representation matters because in such diverse societies, people, experiences deserve to be seen. Representation matters because it not only inspires, but ignites change. It ignites education of new perspectives. It ignites education of the human condition. I've heard all the excuses before. Some artists don't want to portray other skin tones because it is too complex for them. Their facial features are too complex to learn how to draw. There was only one brown crayon in the crayon box. Their art classes never bothered to teach them anything other than what was deemed to be the norm. However, diversity has been brought to national attention in the past couple years. We've heard phrases like Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate, as well as the art community speaking out politically. However, diversity is amazing, and that's great that we're amplifying the voices. But what are we doing about being inclusive of this diversity? How will art education change? How will we as consumers demand inclusivity? How will we as artists, activists, abolitionists, African Americans, Asians, Latinxs demand change? 5 words. Art looks better in color.